This is Michael Popok, Legal AF. I was watching my partner, Ben Meiselas, do his hot take about the Scranton rally where Donald Trump pointed to some Scranton firefighters. Turns out they're fake Scranton firefighters, impersonating Scranton firefighters. So much so that the local 60 union has said those weren't Scranton firefighters. We don't know who's holding those signs. And the local police fire chief has said the same thing. He said definitively, those are not Scranton, Pennsylvania firefighters. Now, some of them were dressed in sort of their dress whites, dress uniform whites, and others were wearing hats for Donald Trump and holding these signs. Now, the fake and the stolen valor aspect of it shows you the depths to which supporters of Donald Trump and Donald Trump himself to benefit from it will sink. But there's a crime here at the intersection of law and politics. There's a crime here that we were talking about. And particularly, is there a crime in impersonating a public servant? And there is in every state. Now, if it was a federal agent, a federal officer, police, fire, FBI, whatever it is, that's a crime too. But if it's state only, Pennsylvania has on its book, as almost every state does, a statute about that. And that is a misdemeanor in the second degree crime under 18 Pennsylvania Annotated Code, section 4912, which says anyone who in false pretenses who impersonates a public servant and somebody acts in reliance upon that pretense to the prejudice, that's the crime. So you see how this works. Fake firefighters, talk about stolen valor, stealing valor. They're the guys that are supposed to run, and the men and women and others that are supposed to run into the fire, not fake it. But that would be consistent, right? Donald Trump is a fake commander-in-chief. He's a fake army general. He's a draft dodger. None of his family was in the military. All of the military thinks he's a threat to national security and have come out against him. He runs during the rally. I'm going to show you the clip in a minute where Donald Trump points to the fake firefighters and embraces them. But even before that, I had to watch this entire rally. And it reminded me, I don't mean to be rude, but it reminded me of a clip I've seen of the 1930s of the American Nazi Party in Madison Square Garden, which is ironic because Donald Trump can't wait to do a rally in Madison Square Garden. So he runs this thing that only Stanley Kubrick from Clockwork Orange, the director, would love. It is a not so subliminal video messaging that whips up his crowd into a frenzy of hatred, in which he intersperses fake clips from movies with drill sergeants, with some other clips of people who are transgender or drag queens, and then runs that back and forth, like in a hypnotic almost way. And it whips up in a mind-bending, brainwashing way his crowd. Right after that, he turns and sees some people that he presumes to be, because they're holding Trump signs, Trump-endorsed firefighters, and he uses that as a way to argue, oh, see, all these unions are now supporting me, not Kamala Harris, which is not true. And so let's run the clip of Donald Trump.
We got the firefighters endorse this. You probably heard they haven't. Oh. Wow. Look at that. That's a very good-looking group of human beings, I will say. That's a healthy-looking group. That's nice. That's nice. Wow. Thank you very much. Wow. I didn't know you'd be here. So the firefighters, I guess they haven't. Every year for, 60, 70, some crazy number of years, they always automatically do the Democrats. And the rank and file said, we're not doing that.
Now, it's gotten so bad that even the local union in Scranton, fire union in Scranton, the number 60, local 60, under the International Firefighters Association, the International Association of Firefighters, the IAF Local 60, had to put up on their social media the following. This is on their Facebook. They basically said the following. Local 60 would like to address the rally held earlier today in Scranton for former President Trump and the office of the President of the United States. This is not a political post, rather a clarification. Multiple, all caps, citizens were seen with Scranton firefighters for Trump signs at today's rallies. It is noted that no member of Local 60 were carrying those signs, as the IAFF, the main union, has chosen not to endorse a candidate this election. We honor and respect each and every other person's political opinions. We just want to clarify that Local 60 has not endorsed the candidate. The signs were not a representation of Local 60 nor an endorsement of any candidate. And the president of the union went further. He emphatically said that the people holding those signs were not firefighters, stolen valor. They were not the people that we admire, that should be honored, that run into a building. They were fake, phony, AI, but not AI people holding up signs. Is the Trump campaign involved? Well, they were very quick to say they weren't. Well, we had nothing, a spokesperson for Donald Trump said. We had nothing to do with those signs. Really? I bet you if we go back and track the printer and how those signs were distributed, I bet you were. And those people have committed a crime in Pennsylvania. There is a crime. When I saw the original hot take by my partner, Ben Mysalis, I said, that's also a crime, right? Yes, it is. Every state has a crime for impersonating a public servant, and Pennsylvania is no different. 18. Pennsylvania Annotated Code Section 4912 makes it a misdemeanor second-degree crime to impersonate a public servant and use that pretense to the detriment or the prejudice of someone else. If they picked up 1 or 10 more votes in a state like Pennsylvania, a battleground state like Pennsylvania, that's a prejudice. And the fact that the Trump campaign is endorsing it, and I don't hear Donald Trump coming out and rejecting the fake endorsement of the fake firefighters, the stolen valor of it. Where is J.D. Vance? He's busy talking about the stolen valor, of the vice president candidate Tim Walz, who served in the military since he was 18. Where are they rejecting any of the crazy conspiracy theories out there that are harming and killing Americans? Their attacks on FEMA, now they've got their followers, their cult followers, calling for the assassination of meteorologists, because that's going to put an end to hurricanes. You've got Marjorie Taylor Greene and former Colonel Mike Flynn, who should be in jail. He should be waiting in line to make a phone call at a payphone in a break room in a prison instead of being pardoned by Donald Trump. He said, well, of course, both of them said, of course, the Democrats are manipulating the weather. They're creating the hurricanes. And that, along with their destabilization of FEMA, has made people die. And now you've got the stolen valor moment here and the crime that's being committed. And Donald Trump not stepping up as a leader to say, stop, enough. I don't want the fake endorsement of fake firefighters or other unions. Now look, I would say 90% of unions, and all the major ones that matter, are endorsing Kamala Harris and the Democrats because it's the only party that's going to protect the right of the worker. Donald Trump and Elon Musk, where they've been fighting to unionize in Musk's Tesla factories and other factories for years unsuccessfully. Donald Trump, who fires illegal immigrants right before he runs for office and doesn't have unions really in any of his locations. These are going to be the pro-union people? Come on. There's a couple of outliers, like the Teamsters are hanging out, waiting for a last-minute endorsement. But by and large, firefighters, workers, casino workers, restaurant workers, teachers, all the major unions are supporting Kamala Harris, including major segments of the firefighting community. But Donald Trump is desperate for every vote. He's looking in the couch, maybe J.D. Vance's couch, looking for pocket change and votes, in these close elections. And Kamala Harris is doing the same thing. She's working to earn votes in her closing argument to the American people in the last 26 days or whatever it is. She's trying to earn your vote by pitching a tent in all the battleground states and going on network television and reaching out to media. What is Donald Trump doing? Having phony, neo-Nazi-like Bund meetings with Clockwork Orange videos running in the background to get everybody into a murderous frenzy. This is the guy that wants to be the president of the United States. These are fellow Americans he's attacking. And these phony firefighters should be put in jail under that impersonation law that I just talked about. We got to follow it here. And the call to action on this particular hot take is don't take it. This is like the old Network movie with Peter Finch. Open up your windows, throw them open. I'll wait. And put your head out and say you're mad as hell and you're not going to take it anymore. And you're going to do everything to work your little butts off with me and the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF from now. I'm not going to sleep from now until the election day and beyond to make sure that the will of the people is done and the Democratic Party is restored to power. And Kamala Harris is the Madam President that we deserve. She's earning your vote. He is crapping on the voters. He has disdain for voters. He's got a German anybody near him. If a union worker, I'm going to say it this way. If a union worker or average normal New Yorker, right, that couldn't help Donald Trump was on fire in the middle of the street on Fifth Avenue, he wouldn't urinate on that person to put them out. That's how little Donald Trump cares about you. All he's doing is trying to outrun his prosecution, like a childhood game of tag, where he's trying to get to the safety tree and fire Jack Smith and fire all the prosecutors and set up Trump internment camps and put everybody in them. Don't let him do it. And have a win for Kamala Harris so great that it crushes the MAGA movement once and for all. Right? And lets a normal Republican Party rise from its ashes. We'll continue to follow it all. We got so much to talk about that Midas Touch and Legal AF got together and said, now's the time. Let's get a new channel, a new parallel channel in collaboration with the Midas Touch Network and Legal AF. It's called Legal AF MTN for Midas Touch Network, and it's on YouTube right now. Help us get to 200,000 by this weekend. We're only 3 weeks old. I'm sitting at the intersection of law and politics. I'm curating the top stories there. I'm bringing you a lot of different commentators. I'm doing a lot of hot takes myself to keep that channel up and running. Come over and try us out, Legal AF MTN. So until my next reporting, this is Michael Popok. In collaboration with the Midas Touch Network, we just launched the Legal AF YouTube channel. Help us build this pro-democracy channel where I'll be curating the top stories at the intersection of law and politics. Go to YouTube now and free subscribe at Legal AF MTN. That's at Legal AF MTN.